Right, welcome back to the channel. This is round one, the Jamega Tour event at Goodwood. I got Ollie on the camera today, and Ollie's back on the camera. He had a week off last week, but he's going to be literally coming to every event now going forward. So he's done a great job with this one, and you're going to get basically this throughout the season. So drop the video a like if you like this. I know there's a lot of you leaving comments saying you really like this, as there's nothing else like this on YouTube at the moment. So just happy to be sort of like documenting the process. So Goodwood today was in great condition, nice golf course, not played it before. It is 7,200 yards, fairly long, 4 par 4s. Actually starts off with a par 3 here, 170 yards. The wind when we started was sort of like around 15 mile an hour, gusting at 15. It just progressively picked up throughout the day. That was an 8-iron that just kicked off the mound and left me this putt, which was a nice way to start the round. So 1 under through 1. This is basically on this hole, it's around 430, I think. He's trying to hit it around 270. I pulled this slightly left and left myself 210, but this is downhill, downwind and over the ravine. I'm not sure if you see it from this angle, but this is actually an 8-iron, just because it's playing about 20 downhill, as you can see there, and hit a pretty good shot on the front of the green. This is the first week that I'm going with the fade, and there's definitely less destructive shots. There's a couple of mental errors, and as this round's progressed, it's a shame really. Leading score is 2 under, and there's only one other person under par. This is a bit annoying. This is a 3-putt bogey on the second. It is playing hard basically because the wind got up like it was ridiculous. Like it was gusting at like 40 mile an hour from hole 7 onwards. So we played pretty much the whole back 9 and a couple holes where it's blowing, so like every putt you have, even if it's a 2-footer, you really gotta concentrate on. So this is a dog leg, left to right, about 430 again. Hit 4-iron off the tee, left myself 205, playing slightly uphill. Wind was sort of like off the left. Hit a 5-iron back to this flag, which was quite a nice approach to get that pin high. So I left this, which swings a lot and is also quite quick. Played with Rob Dinwiddie, who's played on the main tour for 8 years, and also Joe Brooks here, who shot 1 under. So I had a really good group today. Right, next hole, par 5. This is 530, and this is where I'm fully now committing to the cut. So this is aiming sort of towards the bunker and letting it peel into the middle of the fairway. Wind off of the left, and left myself this is about playing 240. So just try to muscle a 4-iron. I've not got a 3-iron in the bag because I'm playing the utility and the strong 3-wood. So got this up just in front of the green, and had this awkward lie where it's like off a tight lie on the upslope, but also got to get over a mound and then release up the other mound. So I thought I could get a putt, get into that back tier, but like this stuff is just needs to be tidied up massively. So ended up walking off with a par, which is not ideal, knocking it up by the green on the par 5 eventually. There we go. So next hole is 300, I think this is 330, but the players literally just hit a 4-iron down there about 220, 230, which is what I did. Left myself 110. So this is a gap wedge, and to be honest, hitting all right wedge, just didn't really commit to. So I'm looking back, like when I'm trying to play the cut, I'm trying to aim slightly open obviously, and some shots is interesting that I'm still like slightly shut. So this is the type of putt, it's quite quick from back to front, and giving that a go is just not that sensible. So I gave it too much of a go and then left myself 3 foot across the hill, and this just didn't move the way that it moved on the way back. So I've hit every green in reg up until this point, and that's to drop to 1 over. So slightly frustrating on the greens, but ball striking is definitely in a much better position. So this is into wind, 330 yard par 4. OB left, obvious bailout. I think me and Rob bailed out right here. He's just in front. So this is into off of the right from 110 yards, just trying to like flick a little 50 degree, and it just got up on the wind a bit. I left myself just above the hole in not the best spot. So it is parts like this today where, because the greens are pretty quick and it's so windy, you just want to get it as close to the hole as possible, so within like a foot or two, and generally like my pace pattern was actually pretty good. But yeah, the fade is definitely feeling better. You can see that I'm trying to hit this up the right side just a little lower because it's into the wind, and this is one where I still get slightly shut and then I get sort of like stuck. It's just going to be a bit of a process getting used to aiming slightly left, swinging left, and having that ball move to the right. It's just, and yeah, this is like not ideal where this is finished up. It was like in a horrific lie. Probably could have punched a wedge out, but tried to just get a bit more out of it with 8-iron. But nonetheless had 130, and this is literally the point in the round where the wind started picking up and it was getting ridiculous. So this is gusting now about 30 mile an hour, I'd say. So hitting an 8-iron from 130, albeit a knockdown. Left myself this par putt, which I gave a good roll. It didn't drop. Which is the story. But yeah, the main thing, as I rattle on about pretty much every round, is just like seeing a steady progression, which is definitely happening at the moment. So this is 157 yards, I think this was. The one was into off the right. We're all, I think Joe at 6, I at 7, just trying to chip it forward. Joe had a great shot actually just behind the flag, and mine was slightly left, and this is straight down the break. I think this was literally, yeah, in the front door, but didn't really want to give that a proper go as it is downhill and pretty quick. Now this is literally the worst shot, and I was pretty angry at this. So you've got the world right. That was pathetic club slam. You got the world right, you cannot miss left. So I'm aiming up the right, but I'm not committed to cutting it into the right. So the way when I'm looking up, I'm not like slightly open to target. So then I get slightly stuck and hit that left shot. So it's just going to be a case of getting used to, like I said, aiming down the left and swinging left and hitting it right, even when the trouble's on the left, which I didn't do there. So knocked it out. Had 145 yards wind into off the right. Just tried to chip an 8-iron. It sort of just went really hard. It caught the left side of the green, released, and then I was stuck down playing, you know, up 10 yards, and finally a short game shot. Worth a bit of a highlight reel. Next hole, it's quite a nice swing, just aiming down the other fairway, which is where we all went, because it's OB left up that hole and there's no trouble up here. You're almost playing like across the wind, so just hitting a wedge here from 145. It's probably moved about 20 yards left to right in the air, even with a wedge. Released out to the back of the green, and this is probably where it started to get the windiest. It was probably gusting at about 40 mile an hour at this point. So I left myself 2 foot, and this felt like the longest 2-footer I've ever hit in my life, because you're like trying to take the putter back square when the wind's blowing it all over the place. This is probably the best tee shot of the day. Nice swing, just like committing to aiming down the left and playing the cut. Should see this land down there by the bunkers. So I left myself 187 playing up 10. So just try to hit a 6-iron, thought the wind was going to bring it back. Probably didn't commit to aiming down the left enough with that, so got slightly shut, and that's when I missed it left. But this short game shot is probably the best short game shot I've ever hit. So this is disgusting, like this tight lie, and I really didn't have much room to work with, and it was downwind, and I just played the shot that Leon and Ryan have showed me, where you get the toe in the ground and just get the toe bouncing off the top. So we're going to talk about that in future videos, that shot. This was wind off of the right, just trying to chip a 6-iron, and it caught the wind and went miles left. We all struggled in this hole, all made bogey off a down slope. Just you can't miss it there. It's just stupid. You just can't miss it left, really. But anyway, still had a putt for par. This was uphill and just pathetic, like absolutely pathetic. It was just played that hole like a bitch, basically. Next hole, just hit this is straight into wind, sort of slightly further left than I wanted to. This one with quite a dead flight, almost a bit toey. Left myself 110, which I had to try and hook it around the tree a bit. Started to hook, and then the wind starts to grab it just on the right side of the green, but absolutely fine. Like 3 over at this point. I mean, it's not that far away, to be honest. In fact, yeah, there you go, just knock it down. There's quite a nice lag. 2 over, I think, is like 6th at the moment, so that is oh, didn't happen there. Anyway, on to the next. So par 5 around the corner. So I thought I missed this right because it is downwind. This is about 10 yards from being A1. Left myself right. Check this out. So 155 with a wedge. Watch it hit the flag. So it clatters the flag. Would have gone just long, but probably sat down. And then this is a bit of a misread. Just to lag down the hill. But yeah, still made birdie. So 2 over, a pretty good point here. This is a nice drive, just aiming just slightly right at the bunkers. You literally got the world there. Just hit it out into the rough, which isn't too penal over there. 130, hit a gap wedge. Terrible lie, in fact. Hit a good shot here, just released out. You literally can't get near this flag today downwind unless you're in the fairway. And yeah, coming up, this is just ridiculous. So lagged it down to here, and I missed this. So this putt, I want to see it actually. I literally allowed this to move. That's literally a foot, and that has moved a cup left. I don't know if that has anything to do with the wind or not, but yeah, it's a strange one. Right, now there's something else that happened. So hit a nice drive here, just trying to hit like a patty fade, and basically this is gonna be too long to explain. So I put my tee down, turned around, walked off, got back to the ball, tried to pull my ball out of my pocket, thought I pulled a tee out, thinking I've dropped it on the floor, picked the tee up, and then Joe's gone, "No, it's your tee," and I've gone, "What?" And so I've had to call the ref in, and it's a 1-shot penalty. Absolute schoolboy, but it's stuff like that that I don't know. It's stuff like that's going to happen. Just like silly little errors, just from lacking competitive experience and all that stuff. Just need to get back in the flow. So ended up, after being 2 over, going bogey and then dropping a shot here, which is a par 5, which you got a good tee shot away. It's just so frustrating. 165, I think, to this pin, down off the left, hit a little 9-iron, didn't really move in off of the wind, and I had probably about 35 foot. It's a tough putt, to be fair. He's doing quite a lot from there. Gave myself 2 foot. Let's have a look at the stroke. Not too bad in the side door, and then pretty happy with this. So just trying to hit again, just like a tone down, just little baby fade, just trying to like the go-to in play shot. Got around the bunker, left myself, yeah, I can see I'm shut there, this is why I missed it left. So left myself 150-ish, tried to chip a 7-iron, left myself in the most horrific lie, like sandy, bare. Didn't really commit to this and just called it slightly thin. I just really didn't want to dunch that, which would be so easy to do, catch that slightly behind, you're just going to leave it in the sand. Then caught a read off of Rob's, which went left and mine went right. So now I've got this for 5 over, which I hold. So that's it, 5 over. It probably could have been closer to 2, which would be in 6th place right now. So the game's definitely trending I can't believe I said that word. The game's moved in the right direction, as I said. Hope you've enjoyed this. Round 2 will be up soon.